Good evening, dear students. Please let me know if you can hear me properly. Mr. Arif, Mr. Asadullah, Mr. Khalid, Aktash, please let me know whether you can hear. Good evening to you as well, Mr. Aktash. Can you hear me, guys? Okay, perfect, Mr. Asadullah. So, I would like to start our chapter 5. As you can see, the topic is efficiency and equity. Another chapter of business economics. So we will start it right now. The objective of this chapter, after this lecture, you will be able to define efficiency. What do we mean when we say efficiency when it comes to business economics, and distinguish between value and price, and define consumer surplus, distinguish between cost and price, and define producer surplus, explain the condition under which markets move resources to their highest value users and the sources of inefficiency in our economy. We will explain the main ideas about fairness and evaluate claims and market result in unfair outcomes. So, we will start more for less. People are constantly striving to get more for less. This is what people all the time are seeking for. Could we get more out of our scarce resources if we use them differently, or is our use efficient? So now it's all about how much we spend and what is the best combination of goods and services we can get with spending the same amount of money. So it's all about efficiency when we are spending our money. Are market outcomes fair outcomes? This is really important. What is happening in market? Can we consider it fair? So if not, what can make the market not fair and unfair? Is it rules and regulation, or it's like how utilitarianism is looking at unfairness? So we are going to look at that later on and explain for you more in detail. But this chapter explains the conditions under which competitive market achieve an efficient outcome. So it's all about, in a competitive market, that different suppliers are supplying different products, and there is significant demand for the product. How the price and value is going to be different from customer point of view, and cost and price is going to be determined by supplier point of view. So it describes the source of inefficiency and explores the concept of fairness. So this is more or less what we're going to get in this chapter. So let's go one by one and try to see what does it mean, any of those actually keywords that we just mentioned. The first one will be efficiency. An efficient allocation of resources occurs when we produce the goods and services that people value most highly. So if we, as you can see here, produce the goods and services that people value most highly, we're actually efficiently allocating our resources. The resources are allocated efficiently when it is not possible to produce more of a good or service without giving up some other goods or services that valued more highly. So a very basic definition of efficiency is going to tell you this. We will have the best efficient allocation of resources when we cannot produce any other goods or services without giving up other goods or services that people appreciate more or value more. So the moment that we are reaching to the point that there is no more possibility of giving up on some resources to get other resources, Sir Arif, I have your voice in the class, please. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Arif. Okay, so I was explaining for you. This is one of the ways that we can actually describe efficiency of allocation. When you cannot allocate any more on any good or services without giving up on any other more important goods and services, that is when we reach already to efficiency. The efficiency is based on value, which is determined by people's preferences. So you may prefer certain item over another item, and that is the value that you give to the product. So people actually are going to have different type of preferences, and that causes different efficiency. So let's go further. After knowing what is efficiency, we're going to talk about something called no problem, sir. There are some. So unfortunately, so maybe I will move on into all of the dear students going in class. Sahab Sahab and Mr. Nasser Wali books mute. Okay, I was explaining for you marginal benefit. What is marginal benefit? Is the benefit of a person received from consuming one more unit of a good or service. So the moment that you're adding one more, for example, you're using 5 pizza for your household and you're buying one more. So you will have marginal benefit over buying another pizza. That is called marginal benefit. So the benefit you get after adding one more. For example, you're having 2 ice creams, you're happy about 1%. What will be the benefit of adding another ice cream? So you see, as time passes, your marginal benefit after eating more of ice cream is going to decrease. Definitely, the first ice cream will have the maximum marginal benefit because you're starting to get the ice cream. As you consume more, your marginal benefit goes down. So we can measure the marginal benefit from a good or service by the dollar value or other goods and services that a person is willing to give up to get one more unit of it. So we can look at that from 2 points of view. First of all, how much you're paying for it. This is one of the basic way of showing the marginal benefit. Or just imagine there is no money. If you have egg and you want to get milk, how much more egg you're willing to give up to gain another liter of milk? That will be the marginal benefit of milk for you. The more you get milk, the less marginal benefit will be. So for example, first liter, maybe you like it the most, so you have the maximum marginal benefit. We're willing to give up easily 2 eggs. Just imagine each 2 eggs 1 liter of milk. So for another 2 eggs to give up and get another milk, we have less marginal benefit. As time passes, your marginal benefit decreases as you are satisfying your need. So the concept of decreasing marginal benefit implies that as more of a good or service is consumed, its marginal benefit decreases. This is the rule. This is one of the basic rules. So as you use more of something, your marginal benefit of that good or services decreases. Like for example, you go for 1 hour massage, you are willing to pay $20. If it's 1.5 hour massage, you don't mind pay another money. But if it's 2 hour massage, definitely your marginal benefit out of taking this massage is decreased because you already satisfy your body by getting the basic massage. So the second hour doesn't have the same marginal benefit of the first hour. Okay? So look at here. We are going to now show this graph and from now on show how the whole thing works. Figure shows the decreasing marginal benefit from each additional slice of pizza measured in dollar per slice. So we just look at the MB, which is marginal benefit. Do not look at the marginal cost yet. That is the one that we're going to explain later on. So MC, please ignore that. Just look at MB, which is the left one. I will show it to you here. This is the linear curve that we're looking for. So you see at the price of 20, there is no quantity. This is pizza per day. Okay, dollars. If you have the price of pizza is 20, most probably you have around 5 pizza a day. If it goes 15, you go 10 pizza a day. 10, 15, and 5, 20. That is the basic range of this. But as time passes, you know, from one pizza, your marginal benefit is decreasing, as you can see here, to the lower part. So as you consume more of the product, your marginal benefit goes down. So you just look at that from this point of view. You don't really necessarily look at the just look at the quantity. Definitely, as quantity increases, marginal benefit decreases. As quantity increases, marginal benefit decreases. It's one of the basic things called decreasement in marginal benefit. And so definitely as quantity increases, we know based on the demand basically function, our demand is going to be more as price decreases. So that definitely happens as well. So look at here, we're going to talk about concept called marginal cost. What is marginal cost? Marginal cost is the opportunity cost of producing one more unit of a good or services. A measure of marginal cost is the value of the best alternative foregone to obtain the last unit of the good. Very simple. What you are giving up to gain to make another product in the same range that we're talking about, that will be the marginal cost of that product. As we are making more product, the marginal cost decreases. So we can measure the marginal cost of a good or services by the dollar value of other goods and services that a person must give up to get more one unit. The concept of increasing marginal cost. So you see, it's different from the previous one. The previous one, as you consume more product, the marginal benefit decreases. But in this concept, as you make more product, the marginal cost increases. So the concept of increasing marginal cost implies that as more of a good or services is produced, its marginal cost increases. So if you take here in the graph, now we are talking about the MC marginal cost. As you can see, as we increase in producing more product to be able to keep up with the market, the marginal cost is also increasing. Okay, so the marginal cost of each additional slice of pizza measured in dollar per slice. So at the beginning it was around 5, and 10, 15, 20. So as you have more, marginal cost also increase. Very simple, you know, when you make 5 of something, then the cost of making that is less than making the 10 of that. 10 of that is going to be more costly. So as you see, marginal cost is increasing as you produce more product. This is MC. So efficiency and inefficiency. Now we're going to tell you what's happening. If the marginal benefit from a good exceeds its marginal cost, producing and consuming more of that good uses resources more efficiently. So as you can see here, if here we see marginal benefit is more than marginal cost. So it's better to consume more to reach this point that we call the equivalent. So if marginal benefit of something surpasses the marginal cost, it's better to use that product more, consume more, to reach the equilibrium. The reason is simply that pizza valued more highly than its cost, so increase production. Very simple. Here, people are willing to pay more because it gives you more value than the money that you are giving up for the pizza. Up to the moment that you reach to this. So for 10,000 pizza per day, and price of 15, that is the point that equilibrium happens. Means marginal benefit and marginal cost are the same. As you can see, if the marginal benefit from a good exceeds its marginal cost, as you can see here is marginal benefit, this is marginal cost. This is the difference, as you can see. This is the difference, this red flash and producing and consuming more of this users' resources more efficiently. So if we do so, we reach the point that marginal benefit and marginal costs are going to be the same. Get another one. Exactly the other side. If marginal cost here is more than marginal benefit, it's better to decrease the consumption or productions of the product to reach to the point we call equivalent. So pizza costs more here than its value. Decrease production. It's better to do that. Here people are not willing to pay for the pizza anymore because they have enough. It's better, so the cost that you make is going to be more than the value that they have it. It's better to decrease your production to the point that people value out of consuming each more pizza is actually equivalent to the marginal cost of making any of these pizza. That is the point that we're talking about. So if the marginal cost of a good exceeds its marginal benefit, producing and consuming less of that good uses resources more efficiently. This is what I just explained for you. Look at here, there is a point called equivalent, the efficient quantity of pizza, that you see in 10, price 10, this much, 5. Marginal benefit in marginal cost price 10 is quantity will be 5,000. If of 20, marginal benefit, price is 5. Quantity is 5. So when you come to the point 15 and quantity 10, exactly is the point that marginal cost and marginal benefit are the same. If the marginal cost of a good equals its marginal benefit, resources are for sure being used efficiently. So this is our basic standard to understand whether we are using our resources efficiently or not. At the moment that marginal cost of producer and marginal benefit of consumers are going to be the same, it is the point that we are actually using our resources perfectly. From customer point of view, as well as producers and suppliers. So let's talk about value, price, and consumer surplus. So value, willingness to pay, and demand. The value of one more unit of a good or services is its marginal benefit. So you see, which we can measure as the maximum price that a person is willing to pay. So the maximum price that you are willing to pay for a certain quantity is actually the value that that certain product has for you. Okay. So you see, you are willing to pay definitely different price for different quantity. The demand curve for a good or service shows the quantity demanded at each price. So your willingness to pay $10 when the quantity is 15 or vice versa, or 15 when the price is $15 and paying 10,000, buying 10,000 pizza per day, showing the value of the pizza. So a demand curve for a good or service shows the quantity demanded at each price. A demand curve also shows the maximum price that the consumers are willing to pay at each quantity. So basically, the demand curve and supply curve that we were discussing before since the beginning session, the first chapter of this business economics, was actually the same thing. We're saying that, okay, in different price, different quantity of demand. So now we're explaining that in another way. We're saying that the maximum price that you're willing to pay for certain quantity is the value of that certain product. So look at here. The figure shows these two ways of interpreting a demand curve. In part A, you can see we are saying that shown here, the demand curve tells us the quantity that customers plan to buy at a given price. If the price is around 15, as you can see here, this is the quantity that people are willing to pay to buy. So quantity of pizza demanded of $15 a pizza. Okay, so price determines quantity demand. So we can interpret the same figure and chart and graph in different ways. Look at this graph. In part B, we're gonna go from quantity to price. So that is the value that we're talking about. Shown here, the demand curve tells us the maximum price that consumers are willing to pay for a given quantity. So you see, that will be the value. The maximum price that you're willing to pay for the quantity is equivalent to the quantity that you're willing to buy at a certain price. So we can explain this linear curve in two different ways. You can say the maximum price you're willing to pay for a certain quantity, as you can see here, or what is the quantity at a certain price that you're willing to buy the product. As you can see here, for 10,000 of pizza per day, people are willing to pay $15. Maximum price willingly paid for the 10,000 pizza. You see the 10,000, it means for the number 10,000, you're willing to pay $15. So let's go further. The price measures the marginal benefit of the good at that given quantity. So basically, price is equivalent to marginal benefit. So when we say we are willing to pay $15 for the 10,000 pizza, means our marginal benefit of the pizza at 10,000 number will be 15. So let's look at that from, let's talk about the consumer surplus, and after that we will have all of these for marginal cost. So consumer surplus is the value of a good minus the price paid for it, summed over the quantity bought. So it is measured by area under the demand curve and above the price paid up to the quantity bought. It may seem a little bit complicated here, but when we go to the graph, you will see. Figure on the next slide shows the consumer surplus for pizza for an individual consumer. Look at here, very simple. This is a basic linear curve at $2.5 per slice. Nobody buys anything. As the price decreases, the demand increases and quantity increases. You see, at $2.10, a slice of pizza is gonna be per week bought. At price of 1.5, it will be 20, and then as time passes, it goes to 40. Very simple. Okay. So now this is here the whole idea. If you just imagine, this is what demand tells you. It means for price 2, you have 10. But just imagine sometime you have some certain price fixed by a market, the market price. So at the price 2, you have the difference between 1.5 and 2. People have this 50-cent value because they are willing to even pay 2 while the price of the market is 1.5 at this 10 number. So we call this part the value that customer gets. So the price paid is the price, the market is the market price, which is the same of each unit bought. So the quantity bought is determined by the demand curve, and the blue rectangle shows the amount paid for pizza. You see, the amount paid for pizza will be this. Because the price is this, and you can see, just simply look at the quantity and the price. So for price of 1.5, this is what they paid. 1.5 multiple 20. This is the Actually, the quantity bar is determined by the demand curve, and the blue rectangle shows the amount paid for pizza. Okay, but the green triangle on top, which is this, is the one that I was trying to tell you. Is the consumer surplus from pizza. Means consumer doesn't mind for 10 pizza paying even 2. But the market price is what cheaper, 1.5. So between 2 and 1.5, there is a 50-cent value for customer. That's why we call it surplus. Here you can see it more. You see between 2 and 1.5, there is a 50-cent. Why people are willing to pay 2, the market price makes you, means force you to pay just 1.5. That means this 50 cents will be, one of the customers, we call it here Lisa. Lisa's consumer surplus, okay, from the 10 slice pizza. At 10 slice pizza, you will have 50 cent surplus. So we call that, the whole green part, customer surplus. Because the market price is 1.5, but still you are willing to pay more than 1.5. So what you're willing to pay and what you really pay, if this is positive, okay, and you have more, you're willing to pay more while the price is lower, that is one when we say there is a customer or consumer surplus. So the consumer surplus on the 10th slide is the $2 that the consumer is willing to pay minus the $1.5 that she does pay, which is 50 cents a slide. We call it consumer's surplus, as you can see. So let's look at that from cost point of view. We will have the same explanation that we had so far for cost. The cost of one more unit of a good or service is its marginal cost, which can measure as the minimum price that a firm is willing to accept. So you remember marginal benefit was the maximum price that you were willing to pay for the next product to buy. But marginal cost is the least amount that company will accept for the next product that they are making. So a supply curve of goods or services shows the quantity supply at each price. And a supply curve also shows the minimum price that producers are willing to accept at each quantity. Look at here. That is a typical linear curve, supply curve. The figure shows two ways of interpreting the supply curve, as we explained for the demand as well. In part A, we look at the price. The supply tells us the quantity that producers plan to sell at a given price. So if the price is 15, producers willing to produce 10, okay, here. And if it's 10, they're willing to produce 5. Or if it's more, 20, they're willing to produce 15. So let's look at that. Another way of explaining that, at the quantity of the 10, the minimum price that they accept is 15. This is another way of explaining. In part B show here, supply curve tell us the minimum price the producers are willing to accept for a given quantity. So you can go from price to quantity or from quantity to price. You can go for both of these interpretations. So the price measures the marginal cost of producing that given quantity of the good. So price actually like the price of the good, showing the marginal benefit of buying another product. Here the price shows for supply the marginal cost for producing another marginal cost of producing the given quantity of the good. So they are equivalent. So whenever we say price or marginal cost quantity, or we say price or marginal benefit quantity, they are the same. So producer surplus. Do you remember we were talking about consumer surplus? Now we have the producer surplus. Marginal is the price of a good minus the marginal cost of producing it. So producer surplus is the price of a good minus the marginal cost of producing it, summed over the quantity sold. Again, in the next slide, we will see it more and better in detail. The producer surplus is measured by the area below the price and above the supply curve, up to quantity sold. So figure on next slide shows the producer surplus for pizza for an individual producer. Look at here. It's a typical linear curve supply curve, okay, and supply function. The price is the market price, which is the same for each unit sold. So at the price of 15, we are willing to sell 100 per day pizza, okay. And the market price, as you can see, is 15. So you are willing to pay for even 10, still make 50, or for, and so on. So for this, you can see, by the way, you're willing to make 50 based on price 10, but the market, you can sell it at 15. So you have this value here. The difference between this 15 and 10, that the market supply curve gives you 10, but the market is 15. So you have the value here. This triangle is more or less the surplus basically producer surplus that we're talking about. So the price is the market price, which is the same for each unit sold. The quantity sold determined by the supply curve at the red area shows the total cost of producing. That is very simple. You have the price is 0, the price is 5. You don't even produce. The price goes 50. Sorry, the price was 10. You produce 50, and the price goes 100. You produce price was 15. You go the quantity was 100. So how much you sell is this red part, and the blue part here is actually the blue triangle shows the producer surplus from pizza. Very simple reason exactly again is, you see, based on this supply function, we don't mind to buy, to produce 50 when the price is 10. But luckily, the market price for the item is 15. So you're getting, you see, 5 ringgit more over the same quantity. So that is your surplus. Producer surplus means the money that you make. So this difference, you see, the max producer surplus from the 15th price. So for 15th item, you may get $5 surplus. So the producer surplus on 15th pizza is the producer surplus on 15th pizza is the $15 that the producer received minus the $10 that it costs to produce, which is $5 pizza. As you can see, this $5 is the difference between 15 and 10 is producer surplus, which is $5 a pizza, and it happens at 15th quantity. It means 50th pizza actually. So, is competitive market efficient? Now we're going to talk about efficiency. The market that is competitive means there are different competitors actually competing, and whether it's efficient or not. So, efficiency of competitive equilibrium. The figure shows that a competitive market creates an efficient allocation of resources at equilibrium. So when you're efficiently actually allocating resources, so more or less what you're doing is you are in equilibrium. The quantity demanded equals the quantity supplied. The quantity demanded by people equals to quantity supplied. So this point that 15 is the price and 10 is 10,000 pizza is the point that marginal cost, as you can see, opportunity cost of a pizza and marginal benefit value of pizza are the same. At this point that marginal benefit and marginal cost are the same, we call it market at the most efficient side. So at the equivalent quantity marginal benefit equals the marginal cost, so the quantity is the efficient quantity. So look at here, the sum of consumer and producers surplus is maximized at this efficient level of output. You can see here, before equilibrium, consumer surplus happens as well as producers happens. Means you have to produce more to reach to the point that these two are the same, so there is no surplus anymore. As far as you have surplus, it's better to still, means your value, you get more value than your cost from producer side, or you get more value over the price that you pay. So as this happens, you go further to demand more or supply more to reach the point, which is this. So now we're going to talk about something called the invisible hand. Is the competitive market efficient? Adam Smith, as one of the main contributors in economics, have this basically theory and concept called invisible hand. And this idea in the Wealth of Nations, which is one of his books, implies that competitive markets send resources to their highest value use in society. So when you have a competitive market, means all of the resources are going to be used very efficiently in the best possible way. So consumers and producers pursue their own self-interest and impact in market. So look at here. Market transactions generate an efficient, highest value use of resources. As you can see here, in late next slide, we're going to talk about this even more. The invisible hand works in our economy today. It coordinates the self-interest of producers and consumers of computers, for example, oranges, and just about every good or service that you can think of. And the card, there is one basically reference here that because we don't have the book, so we cannot really say that there is a carton of page 109. I can show this more. But let's look at the application of this more. Obstacles to efficiency. What may happen in the market that we don't really have efficiency? So if the resources are not perfectly allocated and we don't really have competitive market, so means we don't have really efficiency. But what are the typical most common obstacles for efficiency? Markets are not always efficient, and the obstacles to efficiency are this. These are the reasons that we may not have efficiency. First is price, ceiling, and floor. In some certain society, just demand and supply, they're not going to decide about the price. There are some certain restrictions by government or by any other party that tells you, okay, the price has to be this much. Just now you saw, by the way, the demand was asking for example, 10 ringgit or $10 when the quantity is 15 or vice versa. There was an additional consent, which was the price set by government. So you have to follow that. That is one of the obstacles actually. Taxes, subsidies, and quotas, there's going to be another actually part and side. And a monopolistic market means there is just one competitor that produces the product. That it also can influence the basically inefficiency in the market. Public goods, there are some products that they are public and they are going to be supplied by government. Definitely, they're going to have certain concern, and that makes the market again not efficient because the supply is going to have some certain help and aid, and that definitely doesn't really influence trigger demand and also supply. External costs, and external benefits. There are other obstacles for efficiency as well. So you can see, very simple. We will have an efficient market if there is no hidden hands, the one that Adam Smith was trying to tell you, or invisible hand. Because these invisible hands actually will cause that consumers and producers pursue their not pursuing their own self-interest and impact in the market. So market transactions generate an efficient, highest value use of resources when there is no intervention by government or anything else that we just explained here. So let's go further. Is the competitive market efficient? Again, in continuing with that, let's talk about underproduction and overproduction. Obstacle to efficiency lead to underproduction or overproduction and create a deadweight loss will be a decrease in consumer and producer surplus. Look at here. The figure A shows the effect of underproduction. Where is underproduction? Look at here, the efficient quantity is 10,000 pizza a day. That is the equilibrium that we were explaining. That actually we are actually utilizing all of the resources efficiently and benefit the cost, marginal cost and marginal benefit are the same, equals here. So, if production is restricted for any reason, just imagine you cannot produce more than 10. Up to 5 you can produce. You can see, means the demand can go up to here, supply can come up to here, and demand can come up to here. So, and this is equivalent, means you cannot produce more than here, which is this kind of violet or purple color part. If production is restricted to 5,000 pizza a day, a dead weight loss arises from underproduction. We call this dead weight loss because we cannot produce enough to reach to efficient market, which is the equivalent. Okay? Because government said you cannot, for example, maybe produce like that, or resources are limited, anything. Anyway, you cannot go more than 5,000 per day. So this loss will be this. We call this dead weight loss arises when you have this underproduction. Look at here, we're going to now talk about that, then we go beyond the equivalent and how we can have dead weight loss after that. Figure B shows the effects of overproduction. Look at here, again, the efficient quantity is 10,000 pizza a day that we were talking about. So this is the efficient quantity equivalent. If production is expanded to 15,000 pizza a day, means passing the 10,000, which is equivalent, a dead weight loss arises from overproduction. So overproduction and underproduction, both of them can cause dead weight loss. Dead weight loss is not just for underproduction or just for overproduction. If you go beyond the number that you were supposed to do, more than that, also less than that, you will have dead weight loss. So, ideas about fairness can be divided into two groups. The first will be it is not fair if the result isn't fair. And the second one, it's not fair if the rules are unfair. So the most commonly people are having these two different opinions and ideas about why competitive market is not fair. Some of them that they are the fans of utilitarianism or concept or school of thought, they say if it's not fair if the result isn't fair. And I will tell you why they say like that. And some of them, they are saying it's not fair if the rules are unfair. So look at the next slide. Let's explain it's not fair if result isn't fair. The idea that it's not fair if the result isn't fair began with utilitarianism. Utilitarianism, as I told you, is a school of thought in economics, which is principle that states that we should strive to achieve the greatest happiness for the greatest number. No matter who's going to lose, who's going to win. You have to see the whole society. So if everyone gets the same marginal utility from a given amount of income, and if the marginal benefit of income decreases as income increases, do you remember that? We were saying that as we consume more, the marginal benefit was decreasing. That was the first part of this slide. Just imagine, because you have higher income, definitely you're using more product, so your marginal benefit is also more. But as you take more product, as you consume more product, your marginal benefit is decreasing. So that is the fact. So decreases as income increases, taking $1 from a richer person. So just imagine if something like this is happening, it's better to take the money from the rich person and give it to the poor person, because the rich person has been using that product for a long time. So for them, using one more doesn't really make a difference. Very simple. A rich person may have 10 times pizza per week, even a day 2 times or 3 times. So for them, having 11.1 is not really give them any marginal benefit. Look at the poor person who has maximum once in a month. So another more pizza gives him much more marginal benefit. That we call it the balance that we were talking about. So if you take a little bit money from the rich one and give it to the poor one, at the end of the day, because the rich one take one more pizza doesn't really affect marginal benefit. While if you take this money and give it to the poor person, and that poor person takes one more pizza, he is going to have drastically change in his marginal benefit. So the whole society is going to have increasement in marginal benefit. That is the whole idea of utilitarianism. So if everyone gets the same marginal utility from given amount of income, and if the marginal benefit of income decreases as income increases, taking $1 from a richer person and giving it to the poorer person increases the total benefit of the society. So only when income is equally distributed has the greatest happiness benefit. So based on utilitarianism, the best way of reaching the maximum competitive market and maximum marginal benefit is when you have the income well and fairly and equally distributed. If you don't really have high income and there is a significant difference between them and lower income. So it's not like feudal and poor people. Most of the people are average level people. So utilitarianism, they're saying that we will have the competitive market in most of the society gaining a middle range income, but everybody more or less the same. So this is how utilitarianism, they are saying the competitive market. Look at here, the figure shows the redistribution increases efficiently. Just imagine Tom. Tom is a poor person, so he can maximum afford 5. This is his actually income, 5,000, okay? And has a high marginal benefit of income because he is just gaining a little bit, so $1 more for him is more significant than, look at here, Jerry, who is rich. Jerry is rich, so marginal benefit for Jerry, who is rich, is not really high, it's low. Because he already reached a certain level. He is gaining 45,000. So for him, marginal benefit is just 1. It's better to take some money from Jerry and give it to Tom and reach somewhere here in the middle. That would be taking dollars from Jerry and giving it to Tom until they have equal income to increase the total benefit. Because you reach to the point that Jerry gets the maximum benefit, marginal benefit, and Tom also gets the maximum. So the society gets maximum benefit. So that's what utilitarianism is all about. But we have this issue about utilitarianism as well. Utilitarianism ignores the cost of making income transfer. So when we want to take from somebody, give it to somebody else, there is a cost for that. And that is ignored by utilitarianism. So recognizing these costs leads to big trade-off between efficiency and fairness. Sometimes, to be fair, you're going to lose efficiency. So utilitarianism is going to deal with this problem all the time. It's whether to be fair or be efficient. Because taking money from Jerry and give it to Tom not necessarily means you're efficient. It means you're trying to be fair, but not necessarily efficient. Because there is a cost of giving that money from the richer person to the person who's not as rich. So because the big trade-off, John Rawls proposed that income should be redistributed to the point at which the poorest person is as well off as possible, which is it's all about how we can make the poorest person's life as much as possible. Well, in a case that to the point that we reach to the efficiency, this is the point that we're talking about, as you can see here. This is the poorest person. We try to help him to have higher income to the point that he reached to this level, which is the maximum total benefit. And Jerry, which is gaining a lot of money, and the reason is because his income is drastically higher than Tom. His income is 45,000, while the income of Tom is 5,000. Why not we bring the 45,000 of Jerry to somewhere around 25, and also 5,000 of the Tom to somewhere around 25. So then maximum total benefit is going to be there. maximum possible. So let's talk about the next question, which was the next actually school of thought. You remember we're talking about it's not fair if the result is not fair. This is it's not fair if the rules are unfair. So the idea that it's not fair if the rules are unfair is based on the symmetry principle. Symmetry principle, regulatory principle, is the principle which is the requirement that people in similar situation to be treated similarly. You are not supposed to treat people in the same situation differently, and that shows the basic principle of symmetry or regulation. So in economics, this principle means equality of opportunity, not equality of income. As you can see in this school of thought, we are not really thinking about how we can come up with equal income or well-distributed income. We're more thinking about equal chances or opportunity given to people. So Robert Nozick suggested that fairness is based on two rules. The first rule is the state must create and enforce laws that establish and protect private property. And the next one is private property may be transferred from one person to another only by voluntary exchange. You are not supposed to force people to give their property to somebody else except they want to do that. So that is actually the private property that they have, and that has to be taken care of and protected and enforced by the law which is established by a state. So this is what actually Robert Nozick said. So you see two different approaches to competitive market. Whether the competitive market is fair or not is, as I explained for you, a school of thought of utilitarianism. And they said that if the results are fair, the market is fair. But there is another school of thought which Robert Nozick is one of the main champions of that. He said that you have to come up with equal chances and opportunity for everybody. That is how your competitive market is going to be fair. It's not about taking somebody's money or making more money on the equal distribution of income. It's more on giving equal chances to everybody. So this is how this person try to define competitive market and fairness in competitive market. So as we explain this, the whole efficiency and basically the equity is going to be finished. As we were explaining, more students joined the class. At the beginning, just 3 of students were in the class. I hope those that they came late still grasp the whole idea. Anybody in the class, please let me know if you have any question. Miss Vida Sami is saying that no question. How about the rest? Was it understandable? Okay, you see, we don't really, okay, when we say first income, person income increase, because here, based on utilitarianism, Mr. Shokula, we were saying that the best way of coming and reaching to this point, which is the maximum total benefit or maximum marginal benefit, you see, there is this rule. The higher money you have, the less benefit you get out of spending more money. So if you have somebody with very, very high income and somebody with very, very low income, the marginal benefit of these two accumulators together is going to be low, simply because the total, if you look at the whole market, is going to be low because Jerry is not really enjoying spending so much on anything more, but Tom enjoys, but Tom doesn't have money. So why not they give more money to Tom from Jerry? So 45,000 comes to 25. and Tom from 0.5 becomes 25, then both of them have highest marginal benefit possible. So the total maximum marginal benefit of the market will be higher. So in the two, marginal benefit you need, you get 25. For 25 income, you get 2 marginal benefit. While here, for 3 units, you have this. For 5, you have 3, and for 45, you have just 1. So why not we reach the point that both of them are 2? So that is the definition that we are trying to say. So we take the money from Jerry to Tom, and so Jerry's income become less, and Tom income goes higher. So taking dollars from Jerry and giving them to Tom until they have equal income increases total benefit. That is the whole idea. Okay, thank you so much. Is there anybody else with any other questions? Was it understandable for everybody? Okay, thank you so much. Just one more time, I'm going to announce this point. We are in chapter 5 now. 3 more chapter of week 8 is due date for your assignment. Please make sure that you're working with your group and your assignment is going to be submitted on week 8 exactly on time. So you will get the maximum mark for your assignment and no penalty is going to be imposed to you. Thank you so much for attending the class today. Thank you for your attention. And till next week and next session, have a good time and good night.